Hey, Joe here talking about the Presonus StudioLive. One of the cool things about the StudioLive is the fact that, is the fact that it has built-in effects. Now, built-in effects into a mixer, not that new, but being that it's a digital system, it can have a lot more than just a handful on a single knob on those, those kind of cheaper mixers, analog mixers with a reverb on it. It's got a lot of different effects, and you can do 4 at a time, which is pretty stinking cool. So let me just show you really quickly how to set that up. Okay, so if you look at the mixer itself, put these headphones on so I can hear. We talked about the main mix, and we also talked about, we talked about all the different submixes that we have. In addition to that, we've got 4 effects mixes. So here's our main mix. Right now, I've just got my vocal here. You can hear it up louder and turn it up and down. The fader is working. But then if we switch over to effect A couple of things happen. First, you'll notice the faders move. Secondly, you'll notice that the screen changed. So when I go to my main mix, it looks like this. Whatever I'm working on, there's my vocal, channel strip settings. And then when I click on the effects button here, as soon as I click it, boom, it pulls up the effect that is on that channel and also changes the faders to show me what is being sent to that effect. So let's say I want to send my vocal. I turn this up, and we've got some reverb, yeah. So turn it down. That's pretty cool. Now let's say we wanted to have reverb and then also a delay. So we turn the reverb up here. Oh yeah, that sounds nice. Then we hit effects B. Different mix here, and there's a different setting. Let's change this to some sort of stereo delay. That sounds good. No, that's mono delay. Let's try stereo. Okay. Now I can come turn it up. And now I've got this trippy little delay thing. Tap it and tempo in. Yeah. Yeah. Now I can sing in my reverb and my delay. As you can imagine, that can get out of hand pretty quickly. But let's say it's there and it's annoying. We want to turn it off. Boom. Right there. So on one of the main sections of the mixer, it's got the master mutes for all the effects and the tap tempo. So if you want to bring in a delay just for one note, you can do that. And when I hit the mute, it actually mutes what's being sent to that delay, but the delay repeat will still keep going. So for example, if we have, let me go find the feedback on this one. Let's turn the feedback way up, something obnoxious. So I can sing like this. Hey. You hear how that tail's still there? Now look, I'm talking, and I'm singing. Hit the mute button. The singing is still coming through on the return, but we're not hearing any more delay on that track. So that's the really basic, simple gist of how to set these up. You can have up to 4 effects on there, and you can mix and choose. Don't go nuts. But maybe you want, what I would do is have like a room sound for just general like snare reverb. I'd have a slapback delay. I'd have a quarter note delay, and maybe a half note delay. So maybe all of those are available to me, and then I can click them on whenever I want and send whoever I want to send to those at the time. For me in the studio, I mainly only use this for vocals. When I'm singing a vocal, I either want one of 2 things: reverb or maybe a slapback delay. And you have lots of options in here. I would definitely encourage you to dig into them. I mean, there are 3 or 4 different reverbs, and then 3 different delays: a mono delay, a stereo delay, and a ping pong delay, which means it's going to bounce back and forth left and right. Really interesting stuff, really creative stuff, and you could always record these effects into the computer as you're recording. For me, I don't do that. I just like to have them here, so if I'm playing or singing, I can slap a reverb on my vocal or on all the vocals and be able to hear that, and helps me perform better. And then I can always add different effects and tweak them more in the mix later, but while I'm performing, I can get lost in that space, and it's really helpful to have, especially if the singer is struggling and they need just a little room sound to kind of make them feel a little less isolated in a booth. It's a really handy tool to have, and it's built right into the mixer.